6:45, this is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The news edited by Lal Mallavarachi, read by Soundithavam. The President directs the completion of the Urumaya program granting free land rights to 2 million people by June. Minister Dr. Bandula Gunawardena said that the interest rates of the loans should be reduced to a single digit to promote the construction industry. Applications are being invited from the children of estate workers for scholarships. Foreigners to obtain driving license at Sri Lankan airports from April 15th. The Japanese ambassador assures of Japan's support for Sri Lanka's economic development efforts. Fibre optic internet connections for 1,000 schools by the end of the year. In foreign news, at least 40 dead in Moscow concert hall attack. In sports, Brazil to start new era after great humiliation. President Ranil Wickremesinghe has instructed officials to ensure the completion of the National Urumaya Freehold Deeds Programme by June. The President emphasized that it is the dream of every citizen to attain legal ownership of land regardless of their background. He firmly believes that everyone should have this fundamental right. President Ranil Wickremesinghe made these comments while attending the Urumaya Freehold Deeds Programme held in Ottapulam in Jaffna yesterday. Accordingly, 408 land deeds were granted to the people of Jaffna as part of the Urumaya program, which aims to provide free land rights to 2 million individuals. The President symbolically participated in the awarding of the deeds. Under the leadership of President Ranil Wickremesinghe, the release of lands previously utilized by the Jaffna Security Force headquarters was conducted at the Palali Air Force Base yesterday. The Jaffna commander, Major General Chandana Wickremesinghe, presented the official land release documents to President Ranil Wickremesinghe. Subsequently, President Wickremesinghe handed over the documents to the Jaffna District Governor, Maradalingam Pradeepan. As per the arrangement, 234 acres of land from 5 Grama Niladhari divisions in the Valikamam North were granted to the local public. These lands are intended for agricultural purposes in alignment with the government's agricultural modernization program. As part of this initiative, seeds were distributed under the leadership of President Ranil Wickremesinghe. Following this distribution, the President engaged in cordial discussions with the land recipients and ceremoniously planted a sapling on the liberated land. Minister Dr. Bandula Gunawardena said that the interest rates of loans should be reduced to a single digit to promote the construction industry of any country. The minister made these comments at the inaugural ceremony of a construction industry exhibition held at the Sirimavo Bandaranaike Exhibition Hall. The minister also said that the economic revival is moving forward with the support of the IMF-EFF program. A ceremony was held at Independence Square to mark the 72nd death anniversary of Sri Lanka's first Prime Minister, late D.S. Senanayake, yesterday. The UNP Deputy Leader and Presidential Advisor Ruwan Wijewardena, former Speaker Karu Jayasuriya, the Venerable Bandaranaike Vimaladharma Thera, university dons and school children participated in the ceremony. Mr. Wijewardena was seen garlanding the statue of the late Prime Minister during the ceremony. The State Minister of Transport, Lasantha Alagiyawanna, revealed that foreign individuals seeking a driving licence in Sri Lanka will have the convenience of applying for it directly at the airport from April 15, 2024. Upon exiting the airport, they will be able to obtain their driver's licence swiftly and efficiently. The Minister of State mentioned that the program to provide compensation to road accident victims promptly without judicial action was also started on the 1st of this month. The individuals can claim a maximum compensation amount of up to 500,000 rupees by submitting an application to the relevant insurance company within 1 year of the accident. This compensation can be availed from any branch of the insurance company across the island, he explained. The State Minister, Alagiyawanna, was addressing a press briefing, Collective Path to a Stable Country, held at the Presidential Media Centre yesterday. This news broadcast comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The Japanese ambassador to Sri Lanka, Mizukoshi Hideki, expressed Japan's support for the current program aimed at rebuilding the Sri Lankan economy. Drawing parallels between Japan's historical journey and Sri Lanka's current economic challenges, the ambassador highlighted Japan's resilience and economic resurgence as a model for Sri Lanka. These comments are made during his keynote address at a panel discussion on economic development and modernization with lessons from Japan, chaired by President Ranil Wickremesinghe at the Grand Bell Hotel in Colombo on Thursday, organized by the geopolitical cartographer. During his keynote speech titled Japan's Modernization and Lessons for Sri Lanka's Economic Recovery and Governance, the ambassador shared insights into Japan's historical challenges, its adaptation to modern changes, and its journey towards rapid development. The Geopolitical Cartographer is an international research foundation established by President Ranil Wickremesinghe with a primary focus on the Indian Ocean region. Its objective is to conduct research, promote analysis, and study geopolitical, geoeconomics, and maritime developments occurring in the Indian Ocean, Pacific Ocean, and the connected landmass. The Education Ministry will supply fibre optic connections to 1,000 schools at the initial stage for students to stay connected at faster and secure speed. Education Minister Susil Premajayantha said that billions of rupees have been allocated by the government for providing fibre optic connections to the 1,000 schools. Fibre optic internet is a data connection carried by a cable filled with thin glass or plastic fibres. Data travels through them as beams of light pulsed in a pattern. Fibre optic internet speeds are about 20 times faster than regular cable at 1 gigabyte per second. The fibre optic cable internet is so much better than the regular cable internet because there is no copper wire with fibre optic cable to gum up the works. Cable internet sends its cables down metal wires. When a signal goes through, the metal heats up, weakening the signal and picking up interference. That's why cable and digital subscriber land internet are so much slower and cumbersome than fibre optics. That concludes local news.
The main news story is brought to you by Sinhala Mahatmya.
Applications are invited for the children of estate workers for award of scholarships by the Ceylon Estate Workers Education Trust. These scholarships are available for GCE advanced level, undergraduate courses, and for students undergoing vocational and technical education in any other government technical colleges in Sri Lanka. Students who have passed the GCE ordinary level with a minimum 6 credit passes or advanced level examination and below 25 years of age are eligible to apply for this scholarship. The completed application forms must be supported with photocopies of birth certificate, result sheets of the GCE O-level or A-level, the latest salary slip of parents, and estate superintendent certificate regarding the parents' occupation, and the updated bank passbook copy of the applying students. Application forms could be downloaded at the High Commission of India Colombo website www.hcicolombo.gov.in. Application forms could also be obtained from the High Commission of India, 36 or 38 Gold Road, Colombo 3, and the Assistant High Commission of India, number 42 Hilpankanduramawata, Ampitiya Road, Kandy, Sri Lanka. Duly completed forms should reach the Honorary Secretary, CEWET, care of the High Commission of India, PO Box 882, Colombo 3, on or before the 29th of April 2024. And that came to you in the main news story.
The main news story was brought to you by Sinhala Mahatmya.
Watch Live is brought to you by
CIB Navy offer valuable gifts and gift vouchers, 25% discount for bank cards till 10th of April. Visit CIB today. CIB revives once always.
The Navy apprehended 9 persons engaged in illegal night diving in Manmunai and Nagarkovil sea areas in Jaffna during search operations conducted on Wednesday. The operations also led to the seizure of 3 dinghies, diving gear and fishing equipment. The Navy carries out regular operations in the coastal and sea areas around the country with a view to prevent illegal fishing practices of a handful of individuals who disregard the sustainability of maritime ecosystems by engaging in illegal practices. That came to you in Watchlight.
CIB Navy offer valuable gifts and gift vouchers, 25% discount for bank cards till 10th of April. Visit CIB today. CIB revives once always.
Coming up, World News.
Making headlines this morning, at least 40 dead in Moscow concert hall attack. 5 dead and 1 million without power in Ukraine after wave of Russian strikes. And the Princess of Wales undergoing cancer treatment. At least 40 people have been killed after gunmen attacked a packed concert venue on the outskirts of Moscow. Russian intelligence said that more than 100 were wounded at the Crocus City Hall. Dramatic video shows panicking concert-goers taking cover as shots and explosions ring out. A large fire had engulfed the roof of the complex, and Russia's National Guard is searching for the gunmen who have yet to be identified. The White House said it is working to find out more about the situation, and Ukraine has denied any involvement in the attack. 1 million people are without power across Ukraine after Russian missiles targeted energy infrastructure. There is no electricity in the second-largest city of Kharkiv, the regional head says, and more than 53,000 households in Odessa are without power. Ukraine's energy minister accused Russia of trying to provoke a large-scale failure of the country's energy system. Russia said it was revenge for recent Ukrainian attacks on Russian territory. At least 5 people have been reported killed and 14 wounded. President Volodymyr Zelensky said the latest wave of attacks showed that Western allies must give more military aid to Ukraine, including additional air defense systems. Some 90 missiles and 60 Shahed drones were launched into Ukraine during the wave of overnight attacks, he said. Among the targets was Ukraine's largest dam, the Dnipro HES in Zaporizhia, which was hit 8 times according to Ukrainian officials. Video footage appeared to show the dam on fire, but authorities say that there is no threat of an imminent breach. The Princess of Wales says she is undergoing early stages of treatment after a cancer diagnosis. In a video statement, Catherine says it was a huge shock after an incredible, tough couple of months. But she sent a positive message saying, quoting, "I am well and getting stronger every day." Details of the cancer have not been disclosed, but Kensington Palace says it is confident the princess will make a full recovery. The video statement from Catherine explains that when she had abdominal surgery in January, it was not known that there was any cancer. The chemotherapy treatment began in late February. The palace says it will not be sharing any further private medical information, including the type of cancer. Back to the headlines of the world news. At least 40 dead in Moscow concert hall attack. 5 dead and 40 million without power in Ukraine after a wave of Russian strikes. And the Princess of Wales undergoing cancer treatment. That concludes this bulletin of world news.
Development news.
The High Commission of India, in partnership with the Ministry of Technology, Government of Sri Lanka, is organising a conference on digital public infrastructure on the 26th of this month in Colombo. The conference will explore the transformative potential of DPI for enabling service delivery, empowering communities by fostering inclusivity, and enriching the economy by driving innovation. The conference will commence with an opening plenary session when the keynote address will be delivered by President Ranil Wickremesinghe. The opening will be followed by 2 panel discussions. The first, Accelerating Digital Sri Lanka, will focus on how DPI simplifies governance and improves accessibility for the citizens. The second, Unlocking the Digital Stack, will discuss DPI's use cases including in the startup domain, technology, markets and governance. That came to you in development news.
Moving on with sports news.
It was late February 2022 when Tite revealed that he would be stepping down as Brazil head coach at the end of the Qatar World Cup. That, in theory, gave the Brazilian Football Association plenty of time to work on his replacement. As it turned out, though, it wasn't enough. Since then, the Salazar have had 2 caretaker managers, Ramon Menendez and Fernando Diniz, and another manager they assumed had been hired and publicly announced but wasn't. That came to you in sports news, and we take a look at business news next.
Go ekathiana youth ekata life eke change ekata niyameta setna aswahagena dakapuhina habe karana youth ekata niyameta setna friendship ekamenna.
The all-new NSB Itru account, NSB IAM, a plan for your dream.
Business news, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
The US has filed a landmark lawsuit against Apple, accusing the tech giant of monopolizing the smartphone market and crushing competition. In the legal action, the Justice Department alleges the company abused its control of the iPhone App Store to lock in customers and developers. It accuses the firm of taking illegal steps to thwart apps seen as a threat and make rival products less appealing. Apple has vowed to vigorously fight the lawsuit and denies the claims. That's business news. Economic news up next.
Business news, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Go ekak thiyana youth ekata life ekේ change ekata niyamata set wenna as wahagena dakapu hina habe karanna youth ekata niyamata set wenna friendship ekata menna.
The all-new NSB Itru account, NSB IM, a plan for your dream.
On to economic news, Lanka Satos has reduced the prices of 9 essential consumer food commodities. Consumers can now buy these food items at the reduced prices from any of the Lanka Satos outlets across the country. Accordingly, the price of big onions per kilo has been reduced by 100 rupees and the new price per kilo is 550 rupees. A kilo of red cowpea is now sold at 982 rupees, reducing 52 rupees. White cowpea has seen a drop of 50 rupees with the new price set at 1,100 rupees per kilo. Basmati rice, which is sold at 670 rupees per kilo, is now sold at 650 rupees, making a reduction in price of 20 rupees by Satosa. The price of a kilo of red onions has dropped from its previous amount of 360 rupees to 350 rupees, offering a reduction of 10 rupees to consumers. White sugar is now sold at 265 rupees per kilo, and the price of 1 kilo of brown sugar has also been reduced by 5 rupees and is now sold at 425 rupees. That's economic news.
Weather report.
Showers or thundershowers will occur at times in the eastern and Uva provinces, also in the Hambantota district. Several spells of showers may occur in the north-central and northern provinces. Showers or thundershowers will occur at several places elsewhere in the island during the afternoon or night. Fairly heavy showers above 75 millimeters are likely at some places in the western, Sabragamuwa, central and northwestern provinces. Misty conditions can be expected at some places in the central, Sabragamuwa and Uva provinces, also in the Gaul and Martara districts during the morning. To conclude this bulletin of news, a recap of the headlines. The President directs the completion of the Urumia program, granting free land rights to 2 million people by June. Minister Dr. Bandalu Gunawardena said that the interest rates of the loans should be reduced to a single digit to promote the construction industry. Applications are being invited from the children of estate workers for scholarships. Foreigners to obtain driving license at Sri Lankan airports from April 15th. The Japanese ambassador assures of Japan's support for Sri Lanka's economic development efforts. Fibre optic internet connections for 1,000 schools by the end of the year. At least 40 dead in Moscow concert hall attack. And Brazil to start new era after great humiliation. On that note, we conclude this morning's news broadcast, and now it's back to your regular Saturday morning host, Sanal P, to keep you well entertained. All yours, Sanal.